Ahead of UFC 291, Dustin Poirier joins us now on SportsCenter. Dustin, good to talk to you again. This BMF belt, for folks who may not be familiar, among fighters, guys who've actually gone toe-to-toe in the octagon, what does this distinction mean?
This is just like a people's choice. This is a fan favorites that is guaranteed action from bell to bell. And when you have two guys like me and Justin Gaethje, these kind of titles get put on the line.
We saw it in 2018 when you guys battled. It was the fight of the year that year. But then I heard that you ran into him somewhere. You said, you know what, I don't want to do that again. But now here you are doing it again. What changed?
They called me and offered me the fight. Yeah, I ran into him at an event in Vegas at a UFC fight, and we were sitting next to each other. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that again. That was rough stuff.
But I'm sure the fans enjoyed it, and I'm sure that plays a part in you guys wanting to do it again.
Yeah, it was fight of the night, contender for fight of the year. And it was 5 years ago. So we're both different fighters. I'm ranked number 2. He's ranked number 3. Number 1 is fighting for the title. So this makes sense. This fight does make sense, and it has a lot of potential to be the number 1 contender, I think.
I've heard you say that you do your best work when things get into the dark areas in the octagon. What does that mean?
Yeah, take me there. When things get hard, when you're hurting, when you're exhausted, when you're bleeding, when you're tired, when you don't want to get off the stool, your opponent feels that same way, and I'm just willing to suffer more. That's where I do my best work.
He has sort of that same reputation. So what happens when you put two guys like that together?
I stop him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He says that he wants to be more technical now as a fighter. I've seen you say you want to incorporate more defense into your offensive way of thinking. How do you think those two adjustments will affect this fight?
It might be a little slower pace before we get into these exchanges. There might be a filling out process. I know I need to get in there and download information and see how he's moving and reacting to feints, the range, everything. It's a very high level fight. We're both very high level fighters, and it's 25 minutes. And we both know how dangerous each other are. So there's a mutual respect there, but also there's dogs inside of both of us that are, we're holding that back. Try not to let that go, because when you do that, it's a coin toss. Whoever lands that punch, it's a 50-50 fight if we brawl. But I think I have an advantage on the technique side.
I heard you found some interesting ways to prepare for the altitude there in Salt Lake City. What can you tell us about that?
I had a higher peak altitude training company send me a tent that wraps around my bed. So I slept at 5,000 feet last few weeks in South Florida during training camp. Then I came here last week on Friday. I landed here Friday morning, and I'm sitting here in the mountains above Salt Lake, probably about 1,100 feet above where I'm going to be fighting. So I feel fine. Sunday I went for a 5-mile run. I've been in the gym every day, hitting pads, rolling, and it feels normal.
This is your 4th rematch fight, and you're 3-0 in the previous 3. So what should we read into that? When you get a second chance at a guy, you usually finish him off. I mean, what goes into that?
I'm not sure, honestly. Just preparation, having experience with them before. The thing with this one is it's been so long. It's so far removed since our first fight. It's 5 years, and we both climbed the mountaintop and fell down and climbed back again, and learned a lot about ourselves, learned a lot about the sport. We're evolving. We're not the same guys we were 5 years ago. So I know this is a rematch, but I'm looking at it as a brand new fight because we're both so different.
You're both 34. Both have been chasing that elusive, undisputed lightweight title, and this sort of sets up as an elimination fight for the next best chance to get that belt. How much does that add to this fight?
I think about it, but I'm not putting a whole lot of energy into it. I'm one of the guys who can compartmentalize things pretty well. Like, none of that is realistic. None of that is even a possibility until Saturday night happens. And I've been working for the last 9 weeks to prepare for Saturday night. So when the smoke clears from Saturday night, then we assess where we're at. But if I put too much energy into that, I'm taking away from right now, and I have my hands full.
All right, we'll look forward to Saturday night. It should be a fantastic fight. We appreciate you taking some time to spend with us, and good luck Saturday.
I appreciate it, man. Don't miss it. It's going to be an incredible night.